Hi, everybody. Sorry, I just realized I forgot to bring in the trash cans from this morning, so I had to run outside and grab them. How's everybody doing tonight? I had to add some moderators, so I know it's late. It's like 9:11 over here. Hey, you guys, if I can get some thumbs up, that would be fantastical. So I got Marie, good vibes. John, I think I added Kathy as well. Oh, Karen Dean. There you are, Karen. I added you as a moderator, my dear. Hi, Stephen. Sweet darling Lulu. Ooh, hold on. I'm making you a moderator as well, my dear, because I know it's late. I don't know where everybody's watching from. So, you know. Let's see. Okay, let's say hello to everybody. Bright Opal Tarot, Michelle, My Belle, how are you? Pamela, Amy, Spiritual Seeker. I'm going to make you a moderator as well because I don't know how long everybody's going to hang. Desiree, hello. Sterling Roses, hello. Patrice, Meduchis, Kathleen, Sherry, Beth, Marie Hansen, the face painter. Hello. C. Venus, Amy Smith, Cat Mama. Hello. Freda. It's midnight there, Freda. Freda. I'm going to make, God dang it. Hold on. Now I can't do it. Marie Sutton. Cardamoncy. Hello. Pamela, Liz, Angie, Doreen. Hello. Jaybird. Hold on. Oh, crap. Where'd you go? Freda, stop moving. Freda, I'm adding you as a moderator as well. Paulette, Lorena, Cecile, T. Jones, Renee, Connie, Debbie. Oh, you're so welcome, Stephen. I had to go to Topside. So I was trying to film up there at Fort Rosecrans, which is the memorial cemetery. But there is absolutely no reception up there at all. So where I was walking on the bay, right on the very top of that hill is where Topside is. So it's like a peninsula, but then at the very, if you go up the hill and down the street a little bit, it's up there. So no reception up there. Kind of dumb of me, but I should have just recorded it and then put it up later. But I just like going there. It's a very, very nice place. It's very quiet. And so I hope you all enjoyed the bay today. So let's see who else we got. Pamela, hello. Judith, hello. Jaybird, hello. Teresa Baltasar. Patricia Todd, Angie, Bright Opal Tarot. Thank you so much. Yes, please hit that thumbs up, you guys. That really helps out a lot. Patty Palmer, C. Torino. Tara Jack. Anoni Mouse. Say Jean, hi. Oh, hi, Patricia. Chris Wickens. Marie says her grandpa was 20 years older than his grandma. He in border war with Mexico before being sent to World War I. Wow. Hi, Patricia Ray. Hello, Desiree. See Torino. Sharon Sipe. Lynn, hello. Lynn LeGlaire. So, yeah, I might be getting up a little bit. My knee has been like on fire today. Hi, Rose, all the way up in Toronto, Canada. Yeah, my knee's been on fire today. So I did take some ibuprofen because it was like, I didn't notice it. I mean, it was aching a little bit, but then when I went to go up and down the stairs, I was like, oh, dear Jesus, girl, do something about that knee. Feel like the Tin Man where I'm just going to have to oil my joints every once in a while. So, and I just made a little cup of coffee. So I'm going to go and get that here in a second. Man, you guys are some night owls. It's 194 in the chat. It's great. So Marie Sutton's saying that her father-in-law is buried at Fort Rosecrans. Oh, the views are outstanding, Marie. On the side that I was on, you can see all of San Diego, downtown San Diego, all of the city, all the way down to Mexico. And then if you cross the street, it's nothing but the Pacific Ocean. We're just over there. Just absolutely beautiful. And I guess I believe there's quite a few celebrities that are buried there as well. Jenny from Jen Lintero had sent me a video of Fort Rosecrans, and there's quite a few celebrities there. I think they're like from the 40s and 50s, I think. So, because I was telling her that I think it's, in August, Peanut and I are going to a concert in Los Angeles. It's at the Old Hollywood Cemetery. I was like, who would hold a concert at the Old Hollywood Cemetery? But I guess they have venues there all the time. So we're going to be partying, with dead celebrities in August at the Old Hollywood Cemetery. Oh, hi, Diane from Ontario, Canada. So, yeah. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to go make myself... Yeah, we're going to be rocking with the dead, Karen. Let me go get my little cup of coffee. I'll be right back. I'm downstairs in the living room today because the couch was a little bit more comfortable for my knee than the bed upstairs would have been. So give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So, I did get stuck in traffic. Trying to get off the peninsula because, that's how it is here in big cities. Took me 45 minutes just to get out of Point Loma. Because it's like the first light where I was, it's all the way at the end of the peninsula, and all the way down there's only one way in and one way out, because at the very end there's there's a submarine base. And so it gets backed up, and it's only one lane up until you get to like the first part of the, the portion of where there's like not houses, where it's not, housing. And I sat one traffic light. I watched it turn green 6 times without moving. I was going nuts. I was like, I only need to go one car lane up to get to like, the next part. And it was like, I sat there and watched that thing turn green and red 6 times before I was able to freaking pass. So that's traffic for you, but I don't care. I had fun. I had a lot of fun down there. Oh, that's cool, Linda. Linda's saying she used to have lunch with the dearly departed in Gatlinburg Cemetery. That's really cool. So, yeah, Karen. Karen, are you in Washington, D.C. or Washington State? Thank you, Spiritual Seeker. Because we want to take another trip, I think. Oh, you're in Washington State. Oh, I love it up there. We went to Seattle a few years ago, and I absolutely fell in love. They don't call it the Emerald City for nothing, girl. It is green, 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 green. I was like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. Heaven. Oh, did he, Karen? He's in San Diego? The only thing that made me really sad, Karen, about Washington State was just all of the homelessness, man. That broke my heart so bad. But, you know, I know we never get rain here, though, Karen, ever. It's only during the winter. Actually, a few days ago, it was misting. Well, it was like a mist and a drizzle at the same time. So like a whizzle, I guess, where it was just a constant whistling of water from the sky, but it wasn't like actual raindrops, but everything was wet. So I was very happy. Oh, good vibes. No, we didn't go where I thought I was going to go. And I was very disappointed. In Vancouver, you know where I've wanted to go, Chris Wickens? Banff. I've been wanting to go up there to Banff for a while. Oh, but see, Karen, I just want to go where it's miserable and raining all the time. Like once you're here for a while, like I have been in California since 98. You get tired of the sunshine. It's like, dang it, let me see some rain, you know? Okay, so, all right, Marie, got it. And then I'm looking for Sharon Sipe. Sharon Sipe. Hold on. Where are you, Sharon? There you go. Sharon Sipe, at the request of Marie, I am adding you as a moderator. I hope that's okay, because I'm just doing what she told me to do. Oh, you guys are humid? See, we don't get humidity out here. But then if you go inland, it's like sitting inside of an oven. I can't deal with that dry heat like out in East County or like Arizona or anything like that, or even hell, the Central Valley here in California gets like that, where it just feels like you are sitting inside of an oven in 150-degree Fahrenheit, just cooking yourself slowly to death. No. I can't do it. But then when you get humidity, you end up getting swamp ass. You know, you take a shower, you go outside and you're all freaking mucked up, and then you got to go take another shower. Oh, we've been thinking about that too, Charlene. It was between Oregon, which I've only been to like the first little town of Oregon, the one that's closest to California. And we were only there for like a couple of hours when my sister and I went camping. So it was either go visit Oregon or go back to Washington State, because I fell in love with Washington State. I really did. It was absolutely gorgeous and so green and beautiful. Very clean city too. I just cracked up everywhere. There's like a huge picture of Russell Wilson on like every single building everywhere that said, "Thanks, Russell Wilson." I'm like, God, these people really like. Oh, and we did go to a Seahawks game. We crashed a Seahawks. Well, we didn't crash. We were there. It was opening day. They played Miami, the Miami Dolphins, and we got like nosebleed seats, but that stadium gets loud. I mean, holy hell, it was loud. I was filming it on my phone, and when I went back to watch it, it was like vibrating from all the freaking noise. I was like, holy crap, because I had heard that it's the loudest stadium, one of the loudest football stadiums, and holy hell, it is. It was insane. It was a fun game, though. Oh, are you serious? I was living in Miami, Florida during that time, Sterling. Let me see. Spent a couple of days in Banff for my honeymoon. Oh, you're so lucky. Hope you feel better. You live just north of Seattle, Melody? Yeah, because we were only in the city of Seattle. We were there for like, I think 4 days, 5 days. Oh, let me tell you a story about that. So we went up to Seattle. We got there and we had, gotten a hotel somewhere downtown. I don't even know where the hell we were. And I posted a picture on Facebook, and it just so happened that one of my old coworkers just so happened to be visiting in Seattle that same day for the same amount of time. So I was like, oh crap, let's go meet up. So we went and met up with my old coworker friend, and we went out to get lunch. And then of course, Peanut and him started having drinks. And of course I got roped into having drinks. And then we decided it would be such a great idea to walk over to Bruce Lee's grave. Mind you, we were somewhere downtown by the huge Ferris wheel. If you Washington folk know where I'm talking about. So we get off the Ferris wheel, we go have lunch, we decide we're going to walk to Bruce Lee's grave. And we start walking and walking and walking and walking and walking and walking and walking, and for what seemed an eternity, up and down hills all over the place. And there was a little house. It looked like a shack on the corner of this one street. It looked like a rundown, abandoned house, but there was a neon sign on the side that said Barr. So of course, Peanut and my friend are like, hey, let's go see what's over there. So we went over there, and sure enough, it was like a bar. It was a couple had purchased this old rundown house and converted it into a bar. It was super cute on the inside, but it looked like hell on the outside. So of course we go in there, and then we start talking to the locals, super friendly people. Heard all about the 6 different types of rain that there is in Seattle. And then they told me about the snowpocalypse that happened, I think the year before our vacation, where it got snowed in, and they were at the bottom of a hill. So they said that during that snowpocalypse, like Seattle basically grinded to a halt because of all the hills and not enough snowmobiles to get the snow out. So what they did was they went and sat in the front porch of the little house, just watching people coming down the hill, just crashing and sliding off the road and skidding all over the place because they couldn't get the ice and the snow off the roads. I was like, oh my gosh. So then we left there, and then they're like, where are you guys going? We're like, oh, we're going to Bruce Lee's grave. And then they started laughing at us. And I'm like, why? And they're like, oh, that's all uphill. So I was like, oh shit. So then we're like, we better get going. So we start walking to where we need to go to get to Bruce Lee's grave. And all I remember is seeing this one hill with stairs built in. And I was standing at the bottom and I looked up and we could not see where the stairs ended at all. Like I couldn't see where the stairs ended. Like we just had to like go up and up and up and up and up. It like felt like Stairway to Heaven. So we climb all 8 million stairs to get to the top of that one hill and keep walking around. And we finally got to the cemetery where he was at. And then we walked around forever trying to find him. And then we did find him. And he's buried next to his son, Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee are both there. So we took pictures. And then we were like, hey, let's walk to Jimi Hendrix's grave. And then we looked on the map and it said, from walking, it would take us 8 hours. And I was like, yeah, hell no. So we ended up catching an Uber back to our hotel because it was already getting late and dark. So we were like, yeah, no. So that was my Seattle story. Super fun. Super, super fun. So anyways, I decided to come on here, chit chat with you guys and say, holy hell, did the crap hit the fan today? Did you guys all see that? With the DOJ and the news that broke that the DOJ, hi Marby, that the DOJ was basically spying on Democrats. And then today, both the Keebler Elf and Fred Flintstone were like, nope, wasn't me. And I recall when William Barr was being questioned by Kamala Harris, and she asked him if anybody had asked him to open up investigations and how he danced around that entire question. Yeah, well, I don't know what you mean. Blah, 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 blah. And he just wouldn't. That mother effer straight up perjured himself. Oh, Lord. I mean, come on now. Come on. We all know. And you guys, when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, that's just the DOJ we're hearing about. Imagine all the other departments that have been infested with Trump corruption and criminality. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Well, come on, Marie. He opened his mouth. Of course he was lying. So, hi, Catherine. So, let's see if I can pull off some GTs. And I know I had done the one on William Barr. However, with that said, it sat in my notebook for a while before I got to it. Let me see. It had sat in this notebook for quite a bit. And I was going to go back and do what's her face. Yeah, this is the one that I did, but I didn't get to this until May, and I had done it April 28th. But I remember saying he's going to get busted and he's going to get in trouble with the law. with government or the courts because of his line of fate right here. He's got the dog or child dog cross tower suffering in the courts, and that suffering is long term. He's up here in this grand tableau that I did April 28th, but we didn't get to it till like, God, what was it? May, like the middle of May or towards the end of May. I can't remember. So, and that's when the judge, there's a judge right here with Lillian Tower, was saying, I want this report. The memo where she called BS on him. Where's the report? Way over here on the House of Coffin. That memo. And then he's got letter, son, and book closed, classified, secret. But then here it shows him, man, fox, scythe. So I was like saying, you know, out of a job, not working, if I read fox as work, and then scythe right here as being cut off from work, and then birds and letter. So I should have written down what day I did this. I wrote down the day I threw it. I didn't write down the day I did it. Actually, like live on the YouTube. Because this could be in regards to memos from a meeting or a voicemail. Here. This way could, on a line of influence, is not a direct influence, but it could be saying an investigation into several people inside of a committee that he was trying to perhaps help gain the majority or something like that. But here on his line of fate shows big trouble with the law because it's crossing the house of anchor, which means long-term, persistent suffering and pain. And then he's got tower in the house of cross. Towers are governments. Hey, J-Lo. It's our governments, institutions, corporations, isolation, but it's also about longevity as well. So it's going to be like long-term pain. But the corners are saying news of a document or news of some sort of a memo. There's something here about independence or perhaps some sort of consulting work. And then the house that he was in agreement with the corners. You got writer sitting in the house of writer, letter sitting in the house of coffin. If this is in regards to the memo for him not, hey, Sunflower, my dear, how are you? The memo for his decision to not prosecute Trump. It's landing in the house of coffin, which means it's dead, done, kaput. It's got sun underneath, which means that there's energy or exposure behind it, but then he's got book right underneath it. So it's almost like it stays classified and hidden. And then over here, you got the fish that sits in the house of moon. So this may be perhaps under some sort of independent review, quite possibly. But then over here, you got house sitting in the house of ring. So news about some sort of report or mail, any sort of document or paperwork. There's independence here and business. And then there's his agreement with the administration in the house. But this line of fate here does not look good at all. So I was, and then the Keebler elf as well was like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Like, what was that guy's name on that one show, that the nerdy guy that used to pull his pants up really high? You would always say, did I do that? That's the Keebler elf. So I was going to see if I have the energy tonight to get through Barr and the Keebler elf. Urkel. Thank you, Karen. Urkel. Yeah. Boy, they were both so quick to say, I had nothing to do with it, which I call BS, because William Barr hemmed and hawed and danced his way around that question in the Senate Intelligence or Senate Committee or whatever the heck it was. He done lied his ass off. So, where should I start first? And I feel so bad now after, like, you know, I got worked up from watching Rachel Maddow because, dude, it was like 3 days in a row where MSNBC was just hammering Merrick Garland's ass for not doing anything. And then this crap hits the fan and it's like, oh crap. And then he did a press release today, or a press briefing today, talking about them trying to, you know, they're going to use the Justice Department. They're going to be hiring new prosecutors and all this stuff to help combat all of this voter suppression stuff that's going on in all these states and these fake audits. However, he did not mention anything about the crap that just hit the fan today. Jerry Nadler wrote a letter to the Justice Department. I don't anticipate a Senate Intelligence Committee will be looking into us because the Senate is split up 50-50. How in the hell are you going to get any Republicans to vote for that when they won't even vote to investigate a freaking insurrection? You know what I mean? So I'm not even concerned about that one. It's like, good luck, because that shit ain't going to happen. I mean, exactly, Stephen. I mean, he just walked into a department that has been corrupted. I bet you, even, not to speak badly of service workers, but I bet you even the janitors were corrupted. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's the extent of Trump poisonous tentacles. And like I was saying, Stephen, that's only just the Justice Department. Wait till we hear what happened at Department of Homeland Security, the NSA, the CIA, departments we've probably never even heard of. Just wait. Just wait. I mean, the truth will out, you know, but dear God, dear God. See, Chris, I agree with you on that, Chris, but they need to find out who gave the orders. Because if Barr and Sessions gave those orders, hold those SOBs accountable too. You know, don't just go around firing the middlemen or the henchmen and not fire the people that took the orders, or at least hold them to account. Hold them legally accountable too. You know? Well, buckle up, Buttercup Karen Anderson, because this is just the DOJ. Like, I mean, we had to deal with 4 years of corruption. 4 years of corruption. We haven't even heard about the crap that's happened at the IRS, Homeland, none of it. NSA, none of it. We haven't even gotten to who was in the little room that decided, hey, let's keep all of these really bad conversations that Donald Trump is having with the Ukraine. Let's keep that on the super secret private server. We haven't even gotten to that part of uncovering the caca. Oh, yeah. Yep, Marie, thank you so much. So, ay, Dios mío, I can't. I've been talking y'all's ears off for 35 minutes. 35 minutes. So who should, I think I should do Barr first. What do you guys think? Oh yeah, the Department of Education, Carmen. I mean, every single the Department of the Janitorial Services is going to have to be inspected at this point. You know, it's there was 4 years of rampant criminality with absolutely no oversight and Republican complacency. It's going to take time for stuff to come to the surface. And when it does, root it out, remove it all, root and stem, get rid of it, and hold every single person accountable. So, but just buckle up, people, because it's probably going to get real ugly and real nasty. And we're probably going to hear crap that we never thought we would hear, you know? Oh my God. Exactly, Stephen. And I'm sure you're not just talking about his diapers, you know? So, and you know what? Who was speaking about it? I heard it on MSNBC today in the car on my satellite radio when I was driving, stuck in traffic. They were interviewing, he's a regular commentator on MSNBC. I can't remember his name. But he was saying, clean up on aisle 1 through 100. Exactly, Marie. Exactly. I forget the gentleman's name, but he was saying that what Joe Biden should be doing right now is pulling Kamala Harris aside. Thank you, Marby. Pulling Kamala Harris aside and saying, get a list of every single Trump appointed judge and Mitch McConnell appointed judge and review everything from top to bottom, cross every T, dot every I. We're going to impeach half of these mofos. Because guaranteed, the majority of them, I remember the Barr Association was like, these people aren't even freaking qualified. You know, how many of them could have, we're talking to you, Mr. I like beer sitting on the Supreme Court, perjured himself. How many other federal judges perjured themselves in Senate, committee hearings where Mitch McConnell was just ramming through unqualified judges? I wish they would task Kamala Harris with that. 135 unqualified judges. Yep. Investigate all of them and start cleaning house all over the place. Because it's one thing to try to clean up the mess of the department, the Justice Department, while you have all these other corrupted judges that, to be quite frank, probably don't even know how to wipe their own asses, who were bought and paid for to do the bidding of certain people that bought and paid for them. So no, it wasn't the guy that was hired from MSNBC. It was, he's a commentator on there, lots of rapping bows. Exactly, John. I believe it, Patricia. When he was in office, I don't remember it. He was new in office, brand new in office. It hadn't even been a year. Had not even been a year where you had one of the high brass at the, was it Navy or was it Air Force? If it was Navy, it would have been one of the admirals, but I think it might have been Air Force. I don't quite recall. At the academy, where he had to pull everybody out and ream their asses for racism at a naval. If it was naval, I would say Naval Academy, but I don't remember if it was Naval Academy or if it was Air Force Academy, because he was already stoking the racism and that shit was seeping into, where our officers go to train. And it was Air Force, J-Lo, thank you. The Air Force in Colorado. Thank you, sweet darling Lulu. Do you see what I'm saying? His shit spewed into every freaking crevice. And it is, as a former enlisted person, it made my blood boil to see how he corrupted even that. No, it wasn't Glenn Kirshner. It was, he's a black gentleman. He's usually on with Joy Reid. He's covered for Chris, what's his name? The guy with the glasses, Chris whatever, right before the Rachel Maddow show. He's covered for them. He comes on Morning Joe. He goes on Dateline. He's a black gentleman, glasses. Sometimes he's sporting a beard, sometimes not. It's not the former RNC chair. He's a much younger guy. No, not Nance. Wait, is it Nance? No, not Malcolm. I know who Malcolm Nance is. No, he's former Malcolm Nance is former CIA, former Navy guy. No, not him. He's just a commentator. Not Velshi. No, not Don Lemon. I don't know his name, but he was the one that I was listening to it on the radio. But he was like, yeah, he needs to Joe Biden needs to get Kamala Harris to review all the judges and start freaking cleaning house. Oh boy. And I want to apologize about the link to the Boston Globe. I guess some of you were trying to read it and it wasn't coming up for some reason. It shows up fine for me. Like I click on the link and it takes me straight to the page. But for those of you that haven't read, the Boston Globe, how to proof the future presidency, I think it's the title of it. It's a 6-part series. I think it might be Eugene, Laura. It's not Van Jones. Van Jones is CNN. So it's a really good read. It's a 6-part series. No, it's not Neil Katyal. Neil Katyal is no, not him, because Neil Katyal is a lawyer. And I'm saying this guy, I think, is just no, it's not Eddie Glaude. Might be Eugene Robinson, but it's not Eddie Glaude. Eddie Glaude is the professor. It's the guy that's not a professor. He's just a journalist. Jason Johnson. I don't know. I don't know the guy's name, you guys. But I was listening to him on, I think it was Joy Reid when I was trying to drive home. I don't know. But let me stand up for a second because I told you all I've been having knee problems today. I'm going to go walk around my house real quick just to unfunk my knee that's being dumb. Puppies, no. Don't do that. Okay. Sorry, guys. I should grab a bag of frozen peas for my wonky knee. But it feels better after I took the ibuprofen. Thank you so much, Sunflower. So, okay. Let's do this schmuck. William Barr. Debsy, no. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. There's a hospital. 3 for a child. 4, 5. Ooh, a woman that is very ill with something that is spreading. Hold on, let me see where he lands. He lands all the way outside of the tableau in the House of Fate, y'all. Hold on, let me woo, look at that line of fate. Look at that line of fate. Holy hell. He's going to get in a shit ton of trouble. So he falls outside of the tableau. Let me write this down and then I'll do it with the tiles because those fit much easier into focus. 36, 19, 5, 13, 30, 9, 8, 27, 25, 2, 32, 18, 11, 12, 34, 24, 23, 17, 31, 24, 22, 33, 10, 26, 28, 3, 14, 35. Okay, he lands here, so I need to go 28 to 33 through 30 to 12 to 21 to 2, 17, 26. Where's 26? 6, 5, 9, 13, 11, 20, 23, 25, 16, 16, where's 16? 7, 4, 24, 28. Okay. I just followed his chain around very quickly. Now let me put this with the tiles so you guys can see it much easier. The significance of someone, Carol, landing outside of the tableau in the line of fate, meaning they are not in control of anything. Because you have the entire weight of the tableau on them. If you think about gravity, it's all on their head. So they don't really have control of anything if you look at position. And then it's also saying that it's very, also like very significant that he's in the line of fate, because not only is he not interacting with the tableau, and he's got all that weight on his head from the entire tableau, doesn't really have too many options. The line of fate is kind of like the final word for the tableau. So it's kind of like, this is everything that's going on around him, and this is his position, period. I can't really see where he's going other. Thank you, Marie. I can't really see where he's going. I can knight him and follow his chain. But it's everything else. And it looks like he gets put under the microscope too. But let me do it here with the tiles so y'all can see. Hey, Sebastian, how are you? It's a late night for you over there. I'm over here drinking coffee and going nuts. Okay, so let me put this on the tiles so you guys can see it, because I'm working with the webcam and the way I have it set up, I'm limited. Okay, so he lands outside in the line of fate. Okay, what do we have? I'm looking for Bear. I mean, you guys, this is what I don't understand. These stupid jackasses were running around committing all these crimes as if Donald Trump was going to be president for life and they would never get caught. You know, that's what I don't get. That is what I don't get. Okay, writer. Oh no, mountain. Uno mountain aquí. Writer. Now comes writer. Snake. Clouds. And then woman aquí arriba. Let me see the stars and zikras. Okay. And then tower, then tree. Tree. Right here. And then child. Yeah, there's something about a child in a hospital for something that may be pulmonary and is spreading that's causing her some suffering. I don't know. Let's see. Lilies. Bouquet. Coffin. And she's seriously ill. She's got coffin underneath her. 27, which is letter. And ring. And then it is clover. And then moon. And then dog. And then whip. And then birds. Then fish. Then garden. And then house. Okay, then mice. Then storks. Hey, Kari, thank you. Then sun. Then heart. Then crossroads. Then the key. Then the scythe. And then the book. Okie dokie. Let me see if I can get this down here. Okay. I hope that's a little bit better. Try to make it straight. There we go. Okie dokie. Just push it up a little bit because this one's hanging off on the edge. Okay, so he's landing all the way down here. Line of fate in the house of key. Okay, meaning from position, he is not even interacting with the tableau. He falls outside. Virgo, this is a tableau on, what's his face? Fred Flintstone, William Barr. So he's got the entire weight of this entire tableau over his head, meaning this is everything that is on his mind. He's not really interacting with any of this. Okay? And by him landing in the line of fate, I can't really see where he's going. Other than all the crap that's over his head and everything, the caca about to hit the fan. Now, there's news here about, we got the first three cards, Bear, Mountain, and Rider. Bear sits in the house of Rider, Mountain sits in the house of Clover, and Rider sits in the house of Ship. It's landing in a house that is talking about action, as Rider is also action. This can be interpreted as there's going to be news of serious financial difficulties for him. This is like finances and then a huge mountain of problems here. And news about that coming out. Also, news about obstruction as well. Powerful obstruction, and news about something that happened overseas, as Rider sits in the house of Ship. Okay, so we could be looking at the entire Ukraine cockapoo right here, because it's finances that were blocked. So there's also some trouble here. He lied and covered something up to a woman in the house. You got snake sitting in the house of house. So lying to the house, shading something over, and then a woman here. So perhaps lying to the house and then covering it up here. He was called what was his nickname? The cover-up general. And then a woman here that whose success is seriously suffering. Another way to interpret this is there could be some serious issues here with perhaps very expensive medical expenses here, because there's trouble in the family around a woman's health with something that is spreading, that is causing suffering. And underneath this financial problem, you have a hospital for a child A slow recovery to her illness. You got woman. She sits right above coffin. Coffin is in the house of Fox. Okay. So this could be in regards to perhaps a child of his, something that may be going on with her health. Cloud sits in the house of Tree. Here we have a hospital, a woman's health for something that is spreading that causes a lot of pain and suffering. But there's a resolution here. Another way to interpret this, besides financial problems and obstruction of justice, is that they smeared and clouded this woman over through lies. She became a problem, and her success caused suffering and an end. You have cross that sits in the house of coffin. Underneath her, you have the coffin, and coffin sits in the house of Fox, meaning something that perhaps he was involved with that had to do with something overseas, blocking money, and smearing a woman who was very successful and ending her job here, because you have Fox covered by the coffin. So that's a job loss here. Okay, so we're looking at family issues, someone around him, perhaps a child that may have some sort of serious illness. I don't know if this is pulmonary or what, but it spreads and it causes suffering, slow recovery, and a mountain of bills that can come out of that, as well as him obstructing justice for money that was blocked and delayed, that was supposed to be delivered overseas, and then smearing this woman and making her suffer and ending her career. Everybody straight on that? Just a second. So we could be looking at his daughter and Jovanovic just on this line and this bit right here. Okay. 1 second, please. Okay, we're clear? All right, good. Okay, again, he lands all the way outside of the tableau, and he sits in the house of Key, meaning all this kakapoo, and he's got sun over his head, sitting in the house of Letter, exposed, and he becomes Key. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. So this woman's celebrity or her success was, she suffered, and it came to an ending to her job over some sort of, how can I say this? I don't want to say payment, but there was conversations about money here. A friend that was abusive. So this could be quite literally Giuliani. Dog sits in the house of Tower. So legal counsel or a lawyer, a friend that, what do you call this? Guides you in the legal process. So we could be looking at Giuliani here. And then him having an abusive phone call or verbally criticizing someone here. There is perhaps conversations or negotiations about independence or some sort of a transaction to a party for this right here, which is house in the house of heart. So for family or for the actual administration. This dog here knights over to Tower. And then down this line here, not only are we looking at the Ukraine and financial problems, but someone in a position of authority who has already departed and left. Writer sits in House of Ship, that oversaw the government and then abusing power and trying to steal a win down this line. There's some power in the government, opportunity or a win through stealing this way. So do you see how we're looking at multiple different layers here? So that comes out. Where's he at? Okay, so this is his present column. So we're looking at writer, child, dog, son, man. So there could be news. What is that, Stephen? Sometimes it all feels like an awful Twilight Zone episode and we were stuck in the in-between. It feels like the Upside Down to me. If you guys, I am a big fan of Stranger Things. Love that show. Love that show. I think they're coming out with season 3. I think this fall. So, okay. So news here. Let me see. How does this fit? Rider sits in the house of ship. Child sits in the house of whip. Dog sits in the house of tower. Son sits in the house of letter. Okay. Let me see. So this could be saying news that his loyalties were perhaps small, but it becomes exposed here. This person sits in house of tower. So we're looking at a lawyer. We're looking at a friend or a guide, perhaps some sort of legal counsel. He may need to lawyer up this way. What's around dog? What is around dog? Okay, so we got tree in the house of scythe. Child sits in the house of whip sits in the house of garden. Okay. Moon sits in the house of dog. Dog in the house of tower. Whip in the house of garden. Storks in the house of book. Sun in the house of letter. Heart in the house of dog, or heart in the house of man. Okay. This right here could be news around someone that is small. Okay. This person is loyal to someone in government, and this person becomes exposed. You have child sitting in the house of whip, and then whip right underneath it this way. Whip is abuse. Whip is something that is chronic. Hey, Colin, how are you, my dear? I am doing a grand tableau right now on Fred Flintstone. So let me see. Okay, whip is abuse. It's something chronic, but it is also sex. So we're seeing the news of writer sits in house of ship. News about trafficking a child for sex. And this person becomes exposed. They're in court. Or they will soon be going to court. Or they are isolated. Dog sits in house of tower. So this could also be in reference to Matt Gaetz. Hey, Terry, I know I'm late. I've been on here yapping away for like ever before I got into the read. So you haven't missed much. I was yapping away for like a good 45 minutes. So we could be looking something here down this line in regards to a person that was trafficking a child for sexual activities. This person is a loyalist to the institution itself, and it becomes exposed through records or mail or documents or the results. Okay. So this could be something in regards to Matt Gaetz as well as Giuliani. Let me see. No, I don't think. I'm thinking clouds up here, maybe Giuliani. This is king of clubs, unless, and it sits in house of tree. Someone whose health is not well, or serious issues in regards to how something is rooted and how something is growing. Okay. But this person may have had conversations in regards to making payments to a party or some sort of a rally for the administration themselves, because back behind this, whoever this person is, if it's Gates, they were looking to get lucky and have a win for themselves, because they're going to be in court fighting here. This is this person here, this friend, fights or argues, criticizes verbally here. All right. He knights over to Bouquet. Bouquet is the queen of, I believe, hearts. Usually someone younger. He knights down here to Crossroads, Queen of Diamonds. More than one woman. He's nervous and crapping his pants. He's isolated. He's in big trouble, and he's lied. And he's lied. He's a liar in the house. Snake sits in the house of house. And this is also Queen of Clubs. So he's got one woman here. And this person trafficked or traveled, and there's payments. There's a transaction to go afar. Okay. But around him, he knights over here to Crossroads, which is a female, younger. He knights down, or Bouquet, he knights down here to Crossroads, which is several. And this is also Queen of Diamonds. He knights up here to Snake, Queen of Clubs. And that's about it. So I'm thinking by deduction, this may be Gates. Trying to figure out if this is Giuliani. This has to be Giuliani, because he's closest to this woman here who's suffered greatly and her job came to an end. So I'm assuming this must be Giuliani up here, Queen of Diamonds with the clouds. Okay, so let me back it up a little bit here. What else is going on here? Let me take a sip. How's everybody doing? Let me see here. Okie dokie. Let's see. Hmm. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What is that saying? You're recovering from a heat stroke? I don't see Epstein here, Karen, because Coffin lands in the house and is over it. I do not see Epstein here. Let me see. What is that saying? Hey, Marie. My political seminars? You mean my rants? Is that what you mean? Let me get my niece. Gaga. Okay, let me see. What is this thing saying? Also, Whip sits in the house of Garden. So someone here that was trafficking and having sex with children and then there's sex parties here. Whip is sex. Garden is parties, or where there's a large group of people. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what this is talking about here. Oh my gosh, Colin, are you okay? Are you okay, Colin? Okay, good, good. Heat stroke, man, that's not cool. That is not cool at all, my friend. Lilies in the house of birds. Huh. Whip in the house of birds. What is that? And then it's got birds right underneath it, too. Okay, so let me box this in. News about lies and trouble, or lies and clouding things over, quite literally. New satisfaction here and being happy with some sort of an offer. And then this person verbally fighting and criticizing, and something here to do with sex parties. And then this. Okay, simply read, betraying maturity and abusing or fighting very passionately. Huh. What is that? So, okay, I'm going to come back to that. Maybe it'll make sense in a minute. There's big problems about several verbal offers that were made. And people are going to start singing. A bunch of people are going to start singing here. So bouquet is in house of child. Oh, there's more crap that may hit the fan about Gates then. Actually, because here, what is in house? Moon in the house of dog, dog in the house of tower. Okay, because here there's big problems with offers and several offers that were made in several meetings. Okay, and it could also, because he falls outside of the tableau, can be in reference to big problems about getting some sort of an invitation where he has to speak on more than one occasion. Okay. Birds sits in house mountain, and mountain is up here. But then it gets canceled here. Here. Gets canceled here. He's distant. These two are signaling some sort of an invitation, so I would assume a subpoena. But what sits right in the middle of it? Coffin. Coffin is right there. But here, there's speaking to the majority in a committee of the House this way. But this way, it's also saying that he may get lucky because he's got a lot of loyalists in the institution themselves that would fight on his behalf in the committees in the House Does that make sense? So not only are we looking at Matt Gaetz here, but we're also, because this is talking about verbal arguments, the majority or the many in the party that are in the House that are loyal to the institution, but they're loyal to him. Dog is very close to him. And he sits in the House of Heart, or the Heart House man. So they're loyal to him. They would stick up for him if this thing. There's an invitation here, but like I said, it's got coffin right in between. Hmm. Several meetings and a lot of fighting within committees, either in the Senate or in the House or both. Okay. But it looks like, does he knight? Nope. 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 He doesn't knight to birds. But this line of fate says that he journeys to an investigation that is ongoing and there's long-term suffering. Fox sits in House Anchor. Anchor's right behind it, and that sits in House Cross. Cross is way over here, far away from him. It does not land close. So this may be, and so Anchor's talking about persistence. It's talking about fortitude, sticking with something, and it sticks and it sits in the House of Cross. Prolonged, persistent suffering. Cross lands in House Coffin. And then Coffin is in House Fox. So it's like, okay, let me see here. Hold on. Let me see here. So his chain of houses goes from man to key to lilies to birds to mountain, clover, storks, book, clouds, tree, bouquet, child, whip, garden, mice, ring, stars, snake, house, and then back to heart. So a man that has a significant retirement, and he does not talk. He does not interview. He does not speak, because it goes man, birds, lilies. Oh, I'm sorry. Man, key, lilies, birds, and then mountain. So he's retired. He doesn't talk, or he was not in the meetings. But also a man that has retired that was in the meetings in regards to obstruction, because it goes back to this mountain. For an opportunity to change something, and the project that they were working on in secret to cloud something over. Let me see here. So we could also be looking at uncovering something here. This is a fucking tangled mess. Uncovering something here also with the Ukraine, quite possibly, because it's talking about a meeting where he may have been at to obstruct. Okay? That he knew knowledge of, that he had knowledge of. because it goes storks to clover, to change their luck, increase their luck. And he had knowledge of it down here with book. Okay. Then it goes from book to clouds to tree. And then growing problems. All right. An offer. An offer. An offer. Hold on. An offer for a small fight or an offer for a new fight, as well as very pretty young girl sex party. Okay. Criminal conspiracies. Mice sits on house ring. So corruption within the party, but also some sort of an agreement to steal, to take something away. And for success and fame. And then lying and betraying. And then it goes back here to house, which could be the administration. It could be quite literally the House of Representatives. It could be his family. And it could also be the previous administration because of the entourage. Okay. And then it goes back to heart and man, passionate man, generous man, which I say F that, he's not generous. So this is a effing tangled web, and it is widespread. You have stars, sits in house, snake, widespread lies. Also, down this column here, you have stars in house, snake. You have letter in house, bear. You have garden in house, mice, and you have scythe in house, sun. So we are talking about widespread lies. Also, things on the internet that are very widespread, like viruses, malware, trolls online. Okay. Letter in house of bear. This could be financial records. It can also be in regards to executive orders here, because bear has to do with managerial people on top of certain institutions, and also back here with bear. And then what is this tower right underneath the executive of this institution, because this has to do with bosses. So the executive of the institution. So perhaps orders that were given, mail that was given, records, tests, results of what he did while he was the executive overseeing this department here, and widespread lies and malware and all that crap. Financial records as well. Garden sits in house of mice, so a corrupt party. A large group of people that are thieves, because mice has to do with thievery. A very large group of people that are shitting their pants and extremely nervous. Okay. And then you have scythe in house of sun. Success is cut out. And he's also cut from the public here, or this party. And he had knowledge of the significant danger here. He knew everything that was going on, and he lands in the house of key. Key lands in the house of lilies. So let's see, there's a lot to unpack here. Hold on. So we got Matt Gaetz. We got quite possibly a child of his that is sick with something that is spreading. is about how he obstructed justice while he was overseeing, when he was the executive here at the institution, and the opportunities he took to corrupt, and the opportunities that he took to change his luck and improve his chances of winning by being in agreement with others to steal and take away. And all of those people that were involved. I do not see Epstein here. For anybody else that's asking, Epstein is not here. Let's see here. What the hell? Okay, so we found Marie Ivanovich. And I'm trying to figure out, because if this is Giuliani, I'm thinking this might be Trump, because, well, could it? Or it could be this guy. Hold on. This is King of Clubs, King of Hearts, King of Diamonds. Missing something. And then King of Spades here. Hold on. Let me see. This has to be Giuliani. Because if I read this, while he was the executive overseeing the institution here, his participation in obstructing justice when he got the news about the lies from the crazy man, smearing this woman, smearing her success, making her look bad, and her success comes under burden and suffering, and she suffers a loss. So this must be, what's his face, Giuliani. Where fish sits in house. Fish sits in house. Crossroads. Crossroads sits in house. Woman. Okay. I'm wondering if this is presenting as Trump. King of Diamonds. Because this is a person that likes to talk to raise money for their rallies, a person that likes money for parties, a person not likes, but speaking here, money, and then a party. So, and then this person, what did they have on their mind? Losses. They weren't going to be happy with the results here. Happiness ends, and then there's the results. And then here you have the elections that are significant, and then there's a loss here with Scythe in the House of Sun. So this has to be Mango Mussolini down there in Florida in the retirement home, shitting his pants and crashing wedding parties. I guess now, did you guys hear? I guess he's now crashing, what do you call those? Memorials as well. He's not only a wedding crasher, now he's a funeral crasher. Let me see. What was had in these conversations? Birdlands and House Mountain. Conversing or holding meetings about obstruction. Birds sits on House Mountain. Who is this person? Hold on. Lilies and house birds. This has this has to be this right here, lilies. I'm going to think this is McCarthy. Why do I say that? Bird sits in house lilies. This person, or I'm sorry, lilies sits in house birds. Okay. Someone that is supposed to be wiser, more mature, and they speak. It sits in house birds. Well, this person is also a liar, a betrayer. Snake sits in house of house. This person is a snake in the house. They are a betrayer. They speak, and when they speak, they fight and argue for the party. This person, hold on. So if this is McCarthy, it has to be, because this here, right here, you got the whole scandal with Gates. News about trafficking a child for sex for a person or a loyalist that's in government, dog and house tower, a betrayer in the house that is a mature speaker that fights in the party or causes problems in the party. And then gaslighting and confusing and causing problems, but he's a bootlicker here with lilies and, oh, I'm sorry, bouquet and birds. Bouquet sits in house child, younger child, pretty child, happy child. And then you have birds in house mountain. That won't let somebody speak. So he may feel that he has an ally with McCarthy, but I don't know why the hell is Kevin McCarthy showing up here. Maybe McCarthy also knew what was going on with the Ukraine, because if I look over his head, if this is McCarthy, King of Spades, and I look right over his head, what comes before it? News about the obstruction of justice that was happening, or the obstruction of the finances that was happening overseas. And this person may have been present at a meeting or heard something about a meeting. Lilies lands in the house of birds. A meeting where they negotiate, talking on the phone. Okay, so we figured that out. So if this is McCarthy, he may feel that he's got an ally there because he recognizes this person as a snake that'll fight passionately on his behalf. However, with this line of fate, those investigations are going to cause serious long-term suffering. They are going to drag out. And not just that, but everybody that was involved is going to be shitting their pants. Because here you have something that requires maturity. Lilies in the house of birds. Okay, so conversations and negotiations, meetings, that need time to mature. They take a long time. Then you got bouquet in the house of child. So new invitations. Okay. And then you have a lot of verbal arguing here. Whip in the house of garden. So public fighting, fighting within large groups of people. And then bird sits in house of mountain, negotiating or discussing obstruction. So it's not just investigating what sits in house. No, it's not just investigating members of Congress, you guys. All the other shit's going to hit the fan, because I'm seeing Ukraine up here. And not just that, but him lying to someone. And also quite possibly investigations that he ended. You have coffin that sits in house fox. So not only ending this woman's career, but investigations that he ended. Investigations that he ended. Okay, so the sick child and significant money here. The woman who was smeared and lost her job. The woman who lost her job and significance independence here. Hold on. They're also going to drill him because of the knowledge that he had of what was because of the meetings of what was being planned after the elections here. You got Crossroads and Housewoman. There's the elections, the verbal arguing here. And then there's a rally here. Something quite passionate here. Thank you, Sean. Something very passionate in regards to the election. That was very significant, and he distanced himself here. And ongoing fraud, persistent fraud this way. And then he knights up here to Crossroads. So was he also investigating claims of election fraud? Because up here we have clouds, which is confusion. And then happiness and joy here, satisfaction and beauty. And then several negotiations or several meetings or several hearings about what? Election fraud. Does anybody know if he was trying to start investigations into election fraud when this asshole over here lost the election? Significant loss here, because there's this right over it. Was he involved in that too? I can't keep track. Yes, Carla, this is a GT on Barr. Does anybody know, did he try to start up fraud investigations after Trump lost the elections? Yes, Karen, but did William Barr try to start investigations right after the election for fraud? Hey, Rondell, how are you? Let me look. Hold on. Let me Google this. Yes, I know, J-Lo. He was gone in December. Because I'm telling you right now, they were already meeting about how to obstruct the results. But down this column, it says that there's a lot of gaslighting and a lot of problems, but on the task of holding meetings or negotiating election fraud here. And there was also meetings that these people were aware of how to obstruct. So he left in December, but he knew and he had knowledge of what they were planning for the insurrection. Barr kind of hid right after the election and stayed with Khan. Hold on, let me see. Hold on, I'm Googling Barr election fraud. That's all I'm putting into the... Okay, hold on. Attorney General William P. Barr acknowledged on Tuesday that, and this was December 14th, that the Justice Department has uncovered no voting fraud, quote, on a scale that could have affected a different outcome of the election, a striking repudiation of President Trump's groundless claims that he was defrauded. The statement from Mr. Barr, affirming Joseph R. Biden Jr.'s win served as a particularly harsh blow to Mr. Trump's efforts to overturn the results of the election. Mr. Barr has advanced Mr. Trump's political agenda, perhaps more than any other cabinet member, bringing the Justice Department as close to the White House as it has been since Watergate. His comments came as other Republicans separated themselves on Tuesday from Mr. Trump's charged complaints about the election. A Georgia elections official angrily denounced the violent threats and harassment directed at election workers and urged the president to, quote, stop inspiring people to commit potential acts of violence, end quote. Someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to get shot, someone's going to get killed. And Senator Mitch McConnell, that piece of shit, Republican of Kentucky and the majority leader, who has refused to recognize Mr. Trump's election loss, moved closer to overtly accepting the reality that Mr. Biden would be in the White House next year as he discussed the prospects for more pandemic stimulus in 2021. Mr. Barr has been mostly silent since the election, but some Republicans privately pushed him to publicly rebuke Mr. Trump, according to a person told of these conversations. His comments may have been prompted by Mr. Trump's increasingly specious election claims. The president suggested on Sunday that the Justice Department and the FBI may have played a role in an election fraud. So then Trump said, So then Trump suggested that the Justice Department and the FBI played a role in the election fraud. Mr. Barr took aim at a widely discredited conspiracy theory prompted by the president's legal team involving machines manufactured by Dominion Voting Systems, a company that sells voting hardware. There's been one assertion that would be systemic fraud, and that would be the claim that machines were programmed essentially to skew the election results. And the DHS and DOJ have looked into that, and so far we haven't seen anything to substantiate that, Mr. Barr said, referring to the Department of Homeland Security and his own department. But I could have sworn that he did open up an investigation into the results and then basically said, at Trump's urging, and then he was like, yeah, no, sorry. If you guys would have not effed this up so much, I could have helped you out. But no, there's no election fraud. But I could have sworn. So wait a minute. Okay. So there was a meeting about delaying results here. Okay. Now the question becomes, oh, so that did happen, Misty Rose, and John didn't right after he got the results from, do you guys remember that, where the idiots were in one state, stop the count, but then in another county they were like, don't stop the count, these freaking idiots, the Trump supporters, like, stop the count, and then a couple of counties over and then in different states, don't stop the count. It's like, do you want to count or do you not? Like, make up your freaking minds, So after the results were in and he lost, I remember Trump saying that there was widespread election fraud, and then Bill Barr jumped on it, and then he couldn't come up with anything. So he was like, no, there wasn't any election fraud. But he did, I could swear, unless I'm losing my mind, that he did open up an investigation into election fraud and then basically had nothing to go off of. you know? And he had knowledge of what their plan was about the insurrection. And that's why he hightailed it the F out of there. Because there's the meeting right there. There's the meeting to obstruct and delay the win and people traveling. Yep. Okie dokie. So the question now becomes the electronic members or the electronic data and members of the House. So here's the House. Here's a committee. There's electronic records here. Stars, electronic, letter, records, large party committee, and then scythe here. Separated. The records were promised. The results were promised. This could, okay, the letter is anything that is written, documented. Okay, so this is records, mail, results, tests, but it lands in House. It lands on Bear. The results of power, other than financial records, powerful results here, and then a promise for something electronic. And then suffering here. There's the agreement. Here's members of the House, people that were passionate, and then it was kept secret and classified here with book in House. Moon. Moon goes to dog. Dog goes to tower. Hold on, I got to follow this around because he's going to try to distance himself and weasel out of it here on the line of fate. So, I mean, it's like, is he going to try to blame a Trump loyalist in the department? Because you have dog in House Tower. Dog sits on tower, so loyalist in the government. So is he going to try to say that these people acted independently and just went on their own to do Trump's dirty work? Which is BS, because it's already been reported that Jeff Sessions started it, and then William Barr brought in his, oh, maybe that's it, a lawyer. Didn't I say earlier, way at the beginning of the GT, a lawyer? Because here's news of someone traveling from afar that's new, that could be a lawyer, that is quite successful and recognized. So I don't think he even stands a chance of rebutting this, because supposedly the investigation started under the Keebler Elf. And then Bill Barr came in and reopened it, continued it here with Ring. And then when he couldn't find anything, he brought in his friend from New Jersey, because this is a visitor from afar that's new, that fights and argues, that is loyal or friendly or a guide or a helper in the institution that brings you success for records. So again, writer in-house ship. Child sits on whip. Dog sits on tower, and son sits on letter. So he brought somebody in from afar to get the records. And it's right over his head, right down his column. So what is this trying to say? Terry, Oh, God. Exactly, John. He took over after the Keebler Elf, and then employees at DOJ said, there's nothing. And then he brought somebody in from New Jersey to continue. So he, and then him and the Keebler Elf came out today and they were like, nope, we didn't do it. When it's already public knowledge that this son of a bitch brought in a guy from New Jersey. I doubt it, Sterling. We're just now hearing about the DOJ. Wait till we find out about all the other shit. Like, it's going to take a decade to clean up that shit stain. Seriously. William Barr. Hold on. Let me see here. He lied and betrayed the house here with Snake sitting on house. Lied and betrayed the house. Oh, who's getting cookies? Oh, John's getting cookies. Pants on fire. Liar, liar, pants on fire. That's right, Marie. Let me see. So McCarthy here. Let me see. Hold on, you guys. Let me get up and stretch my ass. I need to get a bag of frozen peas. Give me a second, you guys. And I got to use the bathroom too. Puppies, are you asleep? Are you asleep, puppies? I love you. 1 second, please. Hold on, you guys. I gotta walk around for a minute because let me stand up. Hold on. Let me see here. He's got Fox very close. He's got Fox very close. Hold on, let me stand up. Okay. Let me see. And then over here, house is over here. Okay. Moon and house dog. Creative friend, emotionally loyal. Fighting. Duplicitous. Okay. He Knight's over here to Moon. Moon sits on dog. He was recognized as someone that was very loyal. Okay. Dog sits in house, tower. He was recognized as someone that was very loyal in the institution, and he was very happy. Tower sits in house, bouquet. He was very happy for a new, with child here, child in house whip, for a new fight or for new criticisms. Whip sits in house garden, fighting or criticism within a party here, because something is being taken or stolen from the party. Something is being taken or stolen and given to the public. So a leaker, okay? Mice goes to ring. He made an agreement to steal something or to for the leaker and expose it here, bring it to light. But this thing was very widespread also. Stars metastasizes, it spreads, okay? He made a successful agreement to take this thing in a new direction. It became very widespread. Stars sits on house snake. We go back over here to the snake. Widespread lies and widespread betrayals. Where? In the house. Snake lands on house. House over here. And he was very passionate to follow along with that. There was access, or the answer here, if I don't read this as a person, the answer, the wise answer was discussed in a meeting. Lilies goes to birds. If I read King of Spades as the lilies as King of Spades, the answer is Kevin McCarthy, who he had a conversation with. There's two ways to read that. I hope you caught them both. To delay or obstruct opportunities, and then to change something here, to increase or to cause them a change, improve their chances for a win. And he had knowledge of it, and they kept it secret. So it's not just him and loyalists at the Justice Department that took the order. If this is Kevin McCarthy knew what they were up to as well. So, and it was all an agreement to steal and take away, criminal conspiracy. And also an agreement to see who was stealing. So like the leaks, to see who was stealing. But in this case, it's to make sure that the party that he's loyal to stays in power, so that they can manage over the institution here. So he it's not just the cronies that were in the Department of Justice. This thing goes back to this person here in the house that's a betrayer. They're small right now. This person is supposed to speak wisely, but they're not happy with being small here. And they're looking to grow. So they made the agreement for the records here. Why? For a win. Knights over here. Knights over here for majority. And also they had the majority in the House at that time when William Barr was doing that. The Democrats were small. Child, small. Lilies in the House of Birds. And then Bouquet in the House of Child, small. And then there's the abuse here with Whip and House Garden. So not just William Barr, Jeff Sessions, and Donald Trump. This person here, who at the time had the majority, but they lost and it turned over. If that makes any sense. Tower is far away from him. So I would see this as the new Justice Department. Hold on, you guys. Let me walk around for a second. I need to pull my eyes away from this so I can look at it differently. Because I think we've picked out everything that's happened in the past. Kevin McCarthy, Donald Trump, Giuliani, Ukraine, something about a child up here. Since he lands outside of the tableau, I could technically read this as his present and then this to the right being what's to come. But since he falls outside, I may go ahead and read the whole thing as what's to come. Hold on. Let me step away from this for a second. I'll be right back. Hey, bubbies. Hey guys, I'm back. Let me see here. Is everybody doing okay? Sorry, I was walking around a bit because my knee's like stiff as heck. Are you guys still alive? Everybody still alive here? Let me see if I can stretch out my knee. Okay. Crossroads sits on House Lilies. Lilies is here. That sits on Birds. And then Rider. Okay, there's Crossroads, Queen of Diamonds, Lilies, King of Spades. This person speaks perhaps in a committee for the House. If I follow it this way, it goes back up here and I look around it. There's an important decision that needs to be made. Around this, they voiced a decision that needs to be made. Actually, it's looking more like a threat here with whip right here over what was said for the decision that's very significant that needs to be made, and it needs to happen quickly. Crossroads is 2. It's a double. Sits in House Lilies. Lilies is in sits on Birds. And then right over you got Rider. So with that, 2 L's, 2 B's, 2 R's. It's like a Gary, a Larry, a Perry, someone with 2 R's, and a Y. 2 R's and a Y, because this is doubles, verbal threat to make a quick decision. And then there's a committee here. But this person is senior. And this person is pissed at the betrayal that was done to the House, to members of the House. So it's like 2 R's. There's 2 R's here for Rider and a Y with the Lilies. I hope you guys figured out how I got that. So a Larry, a Gary, a Perry, there's 2 R's and a Y in a name. And this person issued a threat and said, you have to make a quick decision right now. But this person sits on some sort of body of people that's very large, some sort of committee in the House, and he's pissed about the betrayal. I don't know who that is. Larry, Gary, Perry. Does anybody know who that is? Larry, Gary, Perry. Jerry Nadler? Yeah, because it's 2 R's. Crossroads is multiples or doubles. Sits in the House Lilies. Follow the Lilies. This person is pissed, very angry right here, passionately about the betrayal to the House. Because it sits in House 2, this person said something very angrily, issued a threat for a quick decision, or will be issuing a threat for a quick decision. And from the doubles, I went this way. Well, it sits in House Lilies, and then I looked around Lilies. 2 R's with Rider. It's 2 R's. Unless it's S or C, but it's looking like 2 R's and a Y for Lilies. I don't know who Rick Perry is. Oh, you're saying Jerry Nadler. Which one's Jerry Nadler? Which one is Jerry Nadler? You guys, can somebody please remind me? Who's Naylor? Who's Old guy. Okay. Well, yeah, Lily's is old, mature. Jackass, former Texas governor. Marie. I don't know, but there's someone here that's pissed about the betrayal to the house and the cover up around it. Chair of the Judiciary Committee. Well, he's got Tower over here. Tower is here. And at that time, they were small. Here. Small with child. Child sits in house. Whip. Whip is underneath him. This person is pissed. Lily sits in house. Birds. That person will be speaking. They are not happy. And they want to see the results. And what agreements were made and who made the decision. So maybe it's Nadler, but here there's two. This means double of this. Okay. So it could be, and over it, he's got writer, double R on this person. And then with Lily, Y, double R, Y. So that's why I was saying a Perry, a Gary, a Jerry, something like that. But whoever this person is with two R's and a Y is pissed. They are pissed. Perry, former Texas governor. So is Rick Perry pissed off? Because this is an older man, two R's and a Y. Small here, but this person speaks. Lily sits in house, birds. And when they spoke, they're pissed right here and down this way. Furious about the betrayal. What's over his mind? The betrayal to the house. Is Perry pissed off too or no? Because I see two R's and a Y. Okay, so Nadler. Okay, hold on. Let me look up Jerry Nadler because that name, I can't put a face to it. Hold on, let me Google. Jerry Nadler. Oh, this guy. Okay. Oh, I remember. Okay, now I put a face to the name. Okay, so it's Nadler. Okay, all right, got it. So, well, whatever. This person's freaking pissed. They issued a statement to make a quick and sudden decision and to cut people off here. Scythe in the house of Scythe sits on Sun. Scythe sits on Sun. Cut the people out. Who? The people that were there that were brought in to be loyalists and do the dirty work. Okay. Okay, we got that. If this is the Justice Department, okay, this is the Justice Department. And then there's the manager, incoming executive, writer in house. Bear sits on writer. And then Tower sits on bouquet. Clover sits on storks. Mites sits on ring. Okay, so if this is the incoming executive, to the institution, and opportunities to change their luck or changing and upgrading their luck. And then there's losses here. Like a group of thieves right here. But it's losses this way. If that makes any sense what I'm trying to say. It's like they take away from this institution here. They steal from it. It diminishes. The power here in this department, the wins get diminished. The people that were in agreement to steal. If you follow that this way, the thieves, there's the changes and improvements. The energy behind it, it comes under exposure. several people here that cheated. Heart sits on woman. And then Crossroads sits on lilies. These two are usually talking about multiple affairs. So people that had several loyalties that were significant. So like cheating, and here cheating as well, get cut off here for knowledge or for a project that they were working on in their career. Now, will anybody be brought to justice is the question. Well, actually, let me back that up. Let me back that up, because yes, I do believe those people are fired, should be fired. But the person who was telling them to do that should be held accountable, which would be Barr. And his line of fate says that him right here is going on a journey where there's going to be prolonged, persistent investigations that are going to cause a crap ton of suffering. It's going to be prolonged. It's like long term. But also, it's like, this is also a trap right here, if I read it metaphorically. This is a trap. And he was trapping people to secure punishment. He was doing it covertly. The fox, because this is work, this is employment in the neutral sense. But other than that, it talks about fraud, manipulation. It talks about something covert. That's why it's associated to traps, because you don't see it. A snake, you can see it for what it is. A fox, not so much, because they're covert, undercover. Do you see what I'm saying? So it was like he was setting up traps. And okay, so, all right, so this is Nadler. He's pissed. All right, over here. All right, let me look at this. So there's big trouble and uncertainty about invitations to go to several hearings here. Down this column. A woman. And then there's a loss. A woman, loss, and then significant independence. Or very important independence. Access to money, access to business. I don't think this is Pelosi, because she's nowhere near the house. Well, I mean, she goes this way. She's in house. She sits on clouds. Clouds is next to her. Snake is, and then you got stars next to her in house snake. This woman is a problem. And then there's a loss right underneath her. Loss of job. It could be Cheney, because because they took away her job. She no longer, she's no longer the number Thank you, Feisty Butterfly Tarot. She's no longer the number 3 because there's confusion here and big trouble. The woman is big trouble and there's widespread lies. She lost a job this way. So thank you, Feisty. This could be in regards to, in a different context, Liz Cheney. So why is she okay? In one context is Maria Ivanovich. In another context is perhaps a child around him that's sick. In another context, Liz Cheney. Okay, so if she lost a job, there's significant abundance or access to abundance. An abundance of the elections, an abundance in the elections, and significant, very important piece or truth of character. This person was smeared as well. Clouds before her. She sits on clouds. And then stars in snake. Also, Lily's lands below her feet. Not directly, but she knights to it. Here. Lily's below the feet means someone of questionable, not very good character. But she is committed to her success and putting things on a new path here with ring in-house stars, but she suffered a significant loss. Cross in-house coffin. And then it knights over here as well. Okay, so Liz Cheney in that context. Okay, she knights here for the party. Thank you, Cindy. So why is she showing up here? Well, Liz Cheney is no longer in the committee, so it's not like she would be there to give William Barr a hand in this fiasco. And then also here, not just the 2 R's and the Y, but earlier we were seeing Kevin McCarthy here too, because he had knowledge of the person that was trafficking children at sex parties and blah, 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 and the phone calls with the friend that's in jail and the yada, yada, all that stuff. Okay. Okay. So if this is the new DOJ, tree in the house, sits in house, scythe. They trim the hedges here, and it becomes small. Small fights, small arguing, but it gets trimmed back. The purist here, or perhaps people that are senior, will not be happy this way because they were loyalist and their jobs come to an end this way. The orders or the results here are resolved. So if this was an order like the results, the mail, the documents, perhaps subpoenas get resolved here, and then here's electronic files. This way it shows that those come out on who they were targeting. And tree lands in house scythe. Scythe is down here, the targets within the party. The targets are not anywhere near the lilies, which would be conservative. Lilies by character or by what the card means in its essence. It has to do with purity. It has to do with wisdom and maturity, the GOP. And when it lands close to cross, I tend to see it as white supremacist, okay? But in this case, what's next to garden? something that is abundant, something that is prosperous, that's independent. So liberals, the targets were only liberals this way. So they were only targeting one party. Come out this way. The results of the subpoena, but it's up to this guy, the incoming person here, Bear in-house writer, to deliver that, and then to expose all these people here, the people that were brought in from afar, or people that traveled afar or visited afar, that were loyalists, that were fighting on behalf of Spanky. Those people get weeded out and gets trimmed here, made small here. Resignations, happiness comes to an end for these people. Their jobs come to an end. Coffin and House, Fox, and then the result of the subpoena and the resolution here for the electronic records within the party and who were targets. So the targets get exposed here in this letter. Okay. If this is Cheney, she lost her job. And then there's the majority of the party that had the House. The electronic records for the party, and then causing pain and suffering and endings to people that were perhaps celebrities in the House that were committed to going in a new direction, and then the people in the House that were very, very passionate. There's a man here and there's a man here. King of Diamonds, King of Hearts. There's two men here. And there's a woman here that are immediately touching this letter. You would think there would be more, though. You would think that there would be more. Let me see. Down this direction, there's Crossroads, Queen of Diamonds, two women here, or one woman. Underneath that, King of Spades, another man here. So 1, 2, 2 men, 3 men. We'll go ahead and say 2 because Crossroads is on it. So 2 older men here. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Quite possibly 2 older men here underneath Crossroads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with Crossroads, 6. There's another man here, 7, and another woman here, 8. Eight. I mean, it could be more, but I'm only able to quite possibly pick out 8. This woman, these 2 men here, that's 3. King of Clubs underneath her, 4. King of Clubs underneath her, Queen of Clubs underneath stars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if I follow it on the diagonal, Queen of Diamonds, and then King of Spades. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. And then with crossroads, it means double, so quite possibly 8. And before it, there's coffin, which is number 8. So there may have been a total of 8 subpoenas, maybe more, for electronic records. But those orders go back to him, and he is not weaseling out of this. Now, will he be brought to justice? It shows long-term suffering, persistent, ongoing, poking, prodding investigations, and a lifestyle lifestyle of suffering. Down this column, it has the book here which sits on moon. So it may say that this would be like an oath here, because cross is very painful, and then ring is a solution. So, or an agreement. So a painful solution or a painful agreement, an agreement that comes with discipline and sacrifice. So like an oath. Okay. And then the house here learns or will gain knowledge. All right. Do I see disbarment? Quite possibly here, when all of this stuff becomes revealed to the public and it becomes public knowledge. Because if this is his license, and I mirror letter here to Scythe, this would be losing your license. For Kathleen, I hope that answers your question with those 2 mirrors. It may come under review. There may be newspapers. It may come out to the media, and the news is there, and everybody finds out about it, and then it results in some sort of perhaps a review. And then if this is his license for the public, it gets cut here. And Scythe sits on Sun, which means his success gets cut. And in his previous tableau, it was man, fox, Scythe. So working gets cut off. Unemployed, not working. So, and for the person that was saying that he could have his pension revoked, well, there's this. This is how this starts off. And if I know we've been on here for quite some time, almost 3 hours, but news of his obstruction, but also news of financial problems up here, because this is finances. And then there's a big old freaking mountain of problems right here, and news about that. So I don't really think he cares too much, Kathleen, about ruining his reputation. I mean, hell, the guy came out on an interview, right? It wasn't too long after he had started working at the Justice Department when he started doing all that shady stuff, and they asked him about it, and he's like, who cares? I'm going to be dead. Like, I don't think he gives 2 craps about ruining his reputation or his legacy. He does not care. If that was his answer in the interview. Down this line of influence, Down this line of influence, there's conversations in a server this way. Technology, a black box, conversations about obstruction, and he may have been advising down here. And then what if this is in regards to technology, in a black box, coffin sits on house, fox, which means it's steel trap, okay? And stars sits on house, snake. So technology that is full of lies and betrayals and big problems got trapped and locked away here in this black box. There's the conversations that had to do with obstruction, and then how passionate he was about it. Goes back to what all this stuff was way at the early beginning of the Grand Tableau, not only about his daughter, but obstructing justice by delaying money or finances that were supposed to be delivered abroad and causing problems for this woman that was in high regard, smearing her and making her lose her job. That server. And then here, if I look at it this way, the big trouble, it's like a mountain of shit. It keeps growing. The trouble keeps growing and growing and growing. It comes to an end when the committee here goes to review, perhaps here in secret. It's classified with Book and House of Moon. Okay. Oh, shit. Hold on. Coffin and House of... Coffin... Oh, my God. Coffin and House of Fox. Literally speaking, the death of... the reporter. The death of the reporter, there's a resolution here. Why? Go this way. Here's a hospital or an institution where someone would be greeted that is well standing and growing. These two here, that's Saudi Arabia. Someone younger here, a young prince. So and then this here, tower in the House of Bouquet, that could be a shopping mall, a very pretty hotel, a pretty hotel, a shopping mall, it's like a building that's very pretty or where you would enjoy your time there for relaxation. But this is an institution whose lineage was passed on to the child here in purity, MBS, and then the handing off. But it was a trap. Coffin in the House of Fox. It was a trap. Remember, I said earlier, this is a trap. Okay. And then the death of someone that was investigating, they reported something here about agreements or perhaps contracts that they had for technology or something like that. But remember I said there is technology in a black box where the conversations in regards to obstruction or the conversations that they were trying to delay from coming out, come out. If that is the case, I do not know. The question for this tableau was for 1 year. As you can see, he lands outside of the tableau. So perhaps you have here in his line of fate. Let me show you. Oh my God, Dulcinea. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias, Dulcinea. This man, Barr, is journeying or is transferring. And then there's investigations that are ongoing because Fox lands in house Anchor, and King Anchor is right next to it. Okay, so it's like I was saying in one of the other tableaus, it's like you pull on a string and it's just a freaking because that's one way to read it. Okay, the death of someone that was investigating. And then there's a paper, quite literally a piece of paper that is social here or goes out to the public. And it may have, and here on this, if I read this as MBS, well, what's right underneath it? He was pissed. He was emotionally pissed because of the criticism. Does that make sense? This person here was someone that came to visit that is younger, who was an advisor. Kushner. They were in government. Friends with this person up here. That is what is on this dog's mind. Kushner. When that comes out, I don't know. The tableau was set for a year. As you can tell, Barr falls outside of it. And then there's big trouble here. Huge trouble. It's like trouble that just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. Okay? That's in this black box. And then there's a committee here in secret. Then there's evidence, if we want to read it that way, evidence of something being cut and then covering it up and getting knowledge from it. If that makes any sense. Fox and Scythe Knight. Scythe Knights to birds. So a conversation that I mean, to be quite literal, to cut. As an object, a place, or a thing, because the Lennies can speak in that language, the scythe refers to anything sharp, knives, scissors, gardening tools, any sharp objects, needles, a sharp tooth pain. You see what I'm saying? Anything that cuts. A conversation about a cut. Now, if I remember correctly, I don't mean to go there, but I'm going to. When they killed Khashoggi, they basically dismembered him alive. And that was recorded and it was listened to. And I think there was audio that had come out at one point. But there was a committee. I don't remember. It was the House Committee or the Senate Intelligence. There was some committee that got to hear the whole thing. This person here gave it up. And this person was in government. And this person here was looking to get lucky in their careers. There's some fighting here, but he's a money man and he's into business for his family and real estate. Kushner. This could be Ivanka here with the Queen of Spades. If we're starting to look at people that were in the entourage, okay? Yeah, the Turkish recorded it. That phone call was intercepted and it was recorded. But there may have been a conversation because, and it doesn't show up in this tableau. There is a reading from 2 years ago, 3 years, I forget, 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember. It was a grand tableau on Jared Kushner, and that showed up clear as day. Clear as day. It was Fox in the House of Scythe, and then Coffin was like, Coffin was in the house of Fox. So it was talking about literally cutting someone and causing their death. Around the Fox over here was like Letter. I can't remember. It was below. Letter was below. So like an investigative reporter that was hacked to pieces. Jared Kushner was here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he was down here, and it was Lily's in the house of Tree. So someone with royal lineage. Storks was right here in the house of Child. And then Kushner was right here in the house of Mountain. So he was the intermediary with MBS, and then all that crap happened with Khashoggi. And right on this very corner of the grand tableau in that reading, it showed, I kept calling it a skiff, because it was this same combination. It was like a technology that was in a box that was super secret that you couldn't get into it. And in there was the death and dismemberment of Khashoggi. It was on this part of the tableau, right in this little box of 9 right here. But I don't remember what year that was, if it was like 2 years ago or 3 years ago that I did that tableau. So if you wanted to go see it, you can go back and look for, I think it was like the first grand tableau I ever did on Jared Kushner. So yeah, there's hearings here going this way before a committee in the House this way for this a-hole. It's just, and then the corners here on his tableau are talking about his power and his finances suffer like significantly. And then there's some very difficult and painful knowledge and things to learn, and it causes a lot of anxiety and nervousness, and it causes quite possibly the knowledge of the corruption and the agreement. However, with that said, if I look to see what is in House Mice, it's garden. It's everywhere. The corruption is everywhere. It's not just the Department of Justice. Because if I follow this up here, this applies only to William Barr. But if I follow this up here, it's institutions that people that were in power over their institutions, and they lost the win. So it's almost like the institutions grow. Does that make sense? It's widespread. It's not just here. But this is only showing the DOJ because this is Barr's. So there's that. There is a painful message here. Perhaps something to do with several fines this way, because there's cross and letter. So this is a very painful message, very painful, difficult mail that is financial. And then there's payments here there's more than one. There's several. Fish is on house Crossroads, and Crossroads is right underneath it on Housewoman. So there may be, quite possibly, I'm not sure, because these two are nowhere near each other, which would talk about lawsuits. They're not close. They don't even night. But there is the potential down this column for several fines, which they better find this a-hole and not the DOJ and make taxpayers pay for this a-hole's freaking F up. So it's going to be widespread. And from this, if this is the records, I can pick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say like 8, maybe 8 people, maybe more. Here it says, if I'm looking at numbers, this is the records, the results here with Coffin. Coffin is number 8. Next to it is Ring, which is number 25. I doubt he was investigating 25 members of Congress. So it's looking maybe perhaps more like 8 or 7. Chronic gaslighting. Significant abuse is here. More than one. Problems with a couple of child abusers this way. Down that diagonal. A nervous friend here and him. Also corrupt friends and corrupt loyalist. Problems are growing. This one here, feisty. That problems are growing and emotions change. Things are brought to light in regards to the career loyalist within the institution. Because you have Moon in House Tower and then Dog in House Tower. DOJ asks record of 73. What's PH's, Marie? What's PH's? And 36 emails. Well, 30. Look at that number. Let me see if it'll focus. Can you see that number? That's 36. What's right underneath it? The letter. This would be your records. And then this right here, my friend, is emails, electronic mail. 36 electronic mails. I don't know what the pages mean. Oh, 73 phones and 36 emails. Phones. Okay. Well, I only got 8 here. So there you go, 36 emails. But I was looking for people, Marie Henson, and I was only able to pick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people maybe in the party. And then coffin is right before. So it could be 8 people specifically that he was targeting. Because coffin lands in house Fox. 8 that were being investigated who didn't know about it. I mean, so we have Swalwell and we have Schiff. I have no idea. It looks like there may be women that were also being investigated because woman is up here. So I don't know if one of them is Pelosi. There's one here that is a celebrity, quite possibly stars, lands, and house snake. One that could be very that could be a celebrity. So I don't know if that would be like AOC or Ilhan. Oh, I have no idea. There's, you know, man, woman. She lands in the house of clouds, so man. This lands in the house of snake, so woman. Down this way, woman. And then Lily's underneath, which is king of spades. You just wait, dude. You just wait, because this is just, they need to clear this up first. And then you'll see how widespread it is. And when they see how widespread that, it's like they tug on one string. And it's like the whole thing just falls apart. Which, you know what? It's kind of like, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Because if the GOP is just thinking about just blocking Biden's agenda, and then Chuck Schumer doesn't know how to do anything, and, well, let me just keep my mouth shut. But that's their strategy of how they're going to back the House and the Senate and take complete control, and then turn around and impeach Biden for, I don't know, putting his dentures on backwards or something. You know, something stupid. That's their game. Trump's only been out of office for 6 months, and it's just bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. They just had an insurrection that they refused to even bother to look at. We have a new DOJ slowly working towards getting new administrators and managers and whatever in other departments. The shit that's going to hit the fan, good luck covering that up, and good luck on your 2022 election hopefuls when the public gets to see the shit you mother effers help to cover up. Good luck. Yeah, that's a good question, Marie Sutton. How many Dems were on the impeachment team? 8 or 9? Because if I'm looking at this, it looks like 8 that may have been targets for investigations. 7 or 8. Thank you, Marie. Yeah, it does. It makes Nixon look like a choir boy. Does anybody remember how many were in the impeachment trial? But no, this happened. They were investigating these people before the impeachment, wasn't it? The first impeachment trial. The first. Well, then you got Louis Gohmert over there asking if we can change the rotation of the moon to stop climate change. Oh my God, that guy is so effing stupid. Let me see. Let me Google that. Impeachment One. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see. First impeachment, Donald Trump, Democratic House members. Tiles are sticking to me everywhere. Okay, first impeachment of Donald Trump. All right. Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, and Jerry. Oh, those were the proponents. Okay, hold on. Who were... Hold on. Does it have a list? Does it have a list of people? God, what a disgusting, like... I can't believe this stupid son of a bitch. I'm talking about Donald Trump. After he got impeached, he still touring the world like his shit don't stink. Like the whole world got to see that you just tried to extort the Ukraine to steal an election. And you still walking around waving your dick, your ugly orange dick in everybody's face. Like you're hot shit. Sit down, boy. Sit down. Let me see. I'm trying to find who was on the impeachment team. The first impeachment. That's great. New York Times, where I can't even read anything. NPR. Okay. Wait, no, this one's January 15th, 2020. So that was the second impeachment. Ay, Dios mío. Ay, ay, ay. Let me see. No, ain't paying to read you. So goodbye. Let me see. This is from 2020. So on the second impeachment, I believe, because this is January 15th, 2020. Wait a minute. Hold on. So yeah, there was... Oh yeah, because we just impeached him again this year, 2021, correct? When it went to trial. Okay, so I'm looking at the NPR, and there is it says there's an article from January 15th, 2020, and it says, who are the impeachment managers, diverse team to lead at Trump trial? And I am seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's not including Nancy Pelosi. So Hakeem Jeffries, Sylvia Garcia, Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, Val Demings, Zoe Lofgren, Jason Crow, and I don't know who this other guy is, but yeah, 7 of them. With Pelosi, it's 8. And I believe that was for the first impeachment trial. If I'm reading this correctly, if this is the records, here it would be 8. And like I said, a woman here, a woman underneath here, a man, a man, a man, and then 2 men here. So, okay. Well, here's Nadler over here. Unless one of them isn't Pelosi. This is saying 8, unless it's 9, but this is the one that's most immediate. So that's what I got, y'all. I hope I covered enough. But if I didn't, I got my notes. I got my notes. Well, letter is in House Mountain. A subpoena for the manager. Thanks, Marie. And then one under here who is a celebrity. This one here, a man underneath her. These 2 men, a couple of men here and another woman here. So I don't know. But he's heading into a world trouble. He's going on a little trip right there. He's going on a trip in a paddy wagon. I wish he would go in paddy wagon. Bastard. But he's on a journey to prolonged, drawn out investigations. In the context of Fox standing for work, it's going he may be traveling, or he may say that he was traveling for work here. Man travels for work. And then reaching his goal or getting to where he needs to be. So he might be like, I don't know who did that. I was out of town on a work meeting. Bullshit. Bullshit. So that's just DOJ. Wait till they get to NSA, CIA, Department of Homeland Security. I mean, God. But you know what, though? They say light is the best disinfectant. And yes, exactly, Sterling. Glenn Kirshner did a fantastic video on that today. If you have not yet watched it, I would highly recommend to go watch Glenn Kirshner's YouTube video from tonight. And he was explaining the difference between a subpoena and a search warrant. And the reason William Barr and little Jeff Sessions over there, the Keebler elf, went out and issued subpoenas was so that they can not have to see a judge and tell the judge why they need the order. So instead, because they knew they didn't have shit, they just wanted to spy on their opponents. And this is also his journey into prolonged spying here with Fox, his spying. Okay. So to not have to explain himself in front of a judge, they just issued subpoenas to the big tech companies and just seized the records and told them, you can't say anything. We're going to gag you because this is national security. Bullshit. They were abusing it. And yeah. And he also explained the difference because I believe DOJ got a warrant for Giuliani's 8 million cell phones and 6,000 freaking electronic devices. They went to a judge and got the warrant. And the judge looked at it and said, yeah, there's evidence of a crime here. Here you go. And that's when they went to raided Giuliani's house. Well, the Keebler elf and Fred Flintstone didn't have that sort of evidence. They just wanted to go poke and pry. So instead, they just abused the powers of the subpoena. And here, down this column here, there's several abuses. And it has to do with obstructions here, and new abuses that there's several of them. Okay. And yeah, the leaks. And here's with the corners. Power was suffering knowledge of thievery. So who was thieving? Who was leaking? Who was, if this is classified information, they take away, they steal. So, but either way, power here suffered. So they abused power. Does that make sense? In order to find out who was leaking. And then he went on a journey. There's William Barr going on a journey to investigate and long-term investigations, because Fox is in-house anchor, persistent investigations for anchor in-house cross, persistent suffering. Thank you, Marie. So there you go. That's all I got. My brain is fried. And, you know, he might try to blame it on Sessions, but here with Ring, it shows a continuation. It loops around, continues. And then here it shows that he had somebody come in, a friend from far away, to be on the team. And then dog knights here to mice, and it knights here to tower. It also lands in tower. It knights to mountain. It knights to snake. It knights to bouquet. And it knights to crossroads. He only, it looks like from the looks of this to where dog knights, institutionalists that were loyal to Trump. And that were happy to betray or snoop around and smear people. So and some of them might have been new in experience too. So we'll see. We'll see. But he's in for a little ride. Like I said, he may have to speak before a commission here to the House. There may be very painful messages that are coming in abundance, several of them. So, and then this way here it's an invitation. So somebody better subpoena his ass. Because I would be pissed AF if they throw in all the people that did the dirty work and don't do a damn thing to the guy that gave the orders. Because you know that shit came from the top down. Trump went on TV for 8 million days and said he wanted Adam Schiff investigated. What did Sessions and Barr do? They turned around and they followed orders based on what Donald Trump said all over the television. It's public record, you know? So whatevs. All right, you guys. So I am going to try to get some sleep here. It's 12:36. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me tonight and getting this one. Let's see. Thank you, Marie. Johnny, you're here. Oh my gosh. I didn't even know you were lurking in the shadows. I had no idea you were lurking in the shadows, my friend. You're such a lurker. I'll try to come on tomorrow, possibly fueled with a bunch of coffee, to see if we can do sessions. So that's right, Johnny. You were lurking. Let's see if we can get sessions tomorrow. I'm going to try to stay on top of the tableaus because I've been screwing them up because I do them and then I can't get around to them for like ever. So whatevs. So much for hanging out. Greatly appreciated. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. Thank you for Johnny for being a lurker. And I will try to come back on tomorrow. And I wish you all beautiful souls a wonderful, wonderful evening. Have a great night and sleep well. Bye-bye.